When DeWine does come into town, when some of these politicians do come into town, of course they contact the mayor or city council or,
Right.
who am I going to meet with? They meet with business owners. We literally have video of our 6-month anniversary with U.S. Congressman Bill Johnson meeting with a group of business owners and the mayor yet again. Closed door. One of the local newspapers misreported that citizens could go.
Wait, so the public wasn't even allowed to. Wow.
No, we're not allowed to. That's what I'm saying. So when we went to D.C. as Unity Council, you'd be surprised by the people that we met with that had no clue what was going on.
Wow.
But we can start at the State House. When we went and disrupted at the State House down in Columbus to get DeWine, it took him, 6 months to even sign the disaster declaration. And they wouldn't give him any more extensions, is why he finally signed it.
So 6 months. It took 6 months for the governor to officially declare this situation a state of emergency.
Gets better. So in this
imagine.
declaration, he actually says, like, Norfolk Southern's taking care of it, but we want to file this in case there are unmet needs. I tried calling him. His voicemail was full. Local representatives, some of them are more invested in this economic recovery. We can talk about the same U.S. Congressman Bill Johnson. He was at that very first town hall where I told everybody I had this potential contamination in my basement. He said he'd get back to me, never did. Saw him like 6 months later at a meeting, told him I needed to talk to him. He hadn't called me back. He screamed at me. I have a whole video of him telling me that I never turned this paper in. He didn't even have a table there, blah, blah, blah. And I have the video clearly of him saying, go over to my table and get a privacy form. Told me that he doesn't want to meet with Unity Council. He doesn't answer to councils. One person, one vote. I don't get to represent my community. I said, what if I come up with a petition, 2,500 signatures? I don't answer to petitions either. One person, one vote. So I said, you don't have my one vote, and walked away. He screams at me across this room and says, I knew I didn't have your vote anyways. And I turned around, I kind of went off, and my red hair came out, and I said, you know what? That's why you never called me back, because you didn't think you had my vote. I said, and you know what, Bill Johnson? Tuck that railroad's money back in your pocket. And he went off. I gave that money back. I said, just this year or all the money they've donated to campaigns? And he storms out. And what he didn't know is there was another Unity Council, a couple of them outside, members, and he's screaming at his assistant to write me off.
Outside when he thinks no.
That's not right. She's still your constituent. Another Bill Johnson story, because Bill Johnson's now my favorite politician.
Yeah, you got to run against him.
So we had this field hearing that was scheduled to be held September 22nd in East Palestine. And it was basically like a hearing to see how things were going and what the state of East Palestine was. So we met with both the Republican and the Democratic side of that because they each got to call witnesses. Republicans got 3 witnesses, Democrats got 2. So the Republican side, Bill Johnson, calls the mayor of East Palestine, who we can get into why he's being bought off.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Won't even talk to residents, and a local business owner. That local business owner sold this little dilapidated building that's had nothing in it in East Palestine for years to Norfolk Southern at the end of July, beginning of August. If you go on the county auditor's webpage, it was appraised at $127,000. Which I know it could be worth more than that, but Norfolk Southern bought it for $500,000. And that was the person that they had testifying at this hearing as to how the cleanup was going in East Palestine.
Wow, so Norfolk Southern bought that actual property for more than 4 times.
It was $493,000 is what they paid for it. Almost $500,000. And I can show it to you. It's right on the auditor.
And the owner of that house... and then the owner of the house said cleanup is going good.
It's the owner, the business owner.
Of the business. So the business owner owned, I assume, a building.
He owns another, he owns another,
Okay.
he owns the car lot, but he also owned this, it was just this little, I think it was like 2,400 square feet. Which
Right.
I'm not even sure how
Little
big
thing.
it